5 tips to finally break your PR. Look, being stuck on your PR is one of the most frustrating things. You know, not being able to break that kill record. Quick tip right here to start us off. You could shoot people out of there. There's no spawn protection as people are flying in. But 5 tips to finally break your PR. And I promise you, if you follow these 5 tips, you will break your PR very soon. No matter what it is. Could be 20, could be 10, could be 30. No matter what it is, follow these 5 tips. I promise you'll start to break it soon. Now, today we're going to be doing a hybrid breakdown. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be giving you tips throughout the gameplay, but we're also going to be breaking down this game, which is my current PR. I just said it yesterday on stream. 32 kills. I finally broke it, and you know what? It's got a pretty good end game right here. Last thing I'll say is probably the last tip for my advanced players is the most important tip here. You know, tip number 5 is going to be crucial for your success in terms of starting to break that 20 or 30 kill threshold. Now let's go ahead and jump into it. Tip number 1, in my opinion, and kind of the most important thing, is going to be don't hyper-focus on your PR. And what I mean by that is so many people are constantly thinking about, oh, I want to drop in and break my PR. Understand that there's so many different things that go actually into breaking your PR. The first and foremost is the fact that it's got to be a pretty good lobby. You know, you can't have a super sweaty lobby and expect to break your PR. It is very difficult to do. You kind of have to get a little bit lucky with the lobby that you are in. And then, of course, we have to capitalize on it. That's the part where I think a lot of you struggle, is not being able to capitalize on those lobbies. You know, the second thing is it has to stay healthy. And you know what? You can do some things to keep a lobby healthy, but at the end of the day, you know, if one other team in the lobby is wiping every single team they come across, that lobby's going to get smoked, and you're not going to be able to get to that 20 or 30 kill mark, or it's going to be much harder to do so. Now, tip number 2 for you is going to be play faster. At the end of the day, when it comes down to breaking your PR, I think a lot of you struggle with pace of play, and you can already see this, by the way. I mean, I've got 7 kills. First circle hasn't even started closing yet. And this is kind of the pace for a 30 bomb. You know, pace for a 30 bomb, you want 9 to 10 kills in that first circle. Before that first circle completely closes, you want 9 or 10 kills. For 20, you probably want around 6 or 7. That's kind of the mark that we're looking for. And then from there, we start to get into, we get loadout, we're rocking and rolling, we're getting UAVs up, which we'll talk about. But you know, you need to play faster. A lot of you, I feel like, are getting better at execution. You're starting to understand aim, movement, positioning, game strategy, and anticipation, those 5 pillars for success that I always talk about. But at the end of the day, you're not putting yourself in enough engagements. And you can see how in the action I am. Now, I'm still playing smart. Unfortunate team wipe right there, right? 1 team out. We're down to 7 teams already. And first circle is just now closing. So tip number 1 is going to be don't hyper-focus on your PR. Tip number 2 is going to be play faster. Tip number 3, and we're really going to start to get into this now, this actual breakdown, is going to be information. Keeping information up, understanding where everybody is. If we're going to start playing faster, we have to understand where the action actually is. Now, we can still play smart in those situations. You're about to see that here as I start to push up here. You're going to see the fact that I have information up, and I'm going to understand where people are. I am in the hot area of the map. Now, you don't always have to be in that area. You can be smart and farm a team, but at the end of the day, you want to know where everybody is, which kind of leads me to the next point, which is cash flow. You're going to notice cash flow. This isn't exactly a tip that I have for you, but cash flow is crucial to breaking your PR. Keeping UAVs up, getting loadouts down so that you're always fighting with loadout guns. Let me quick pause right here. How many times have you been in a situation where you're close to breaking your PR or you're on PR pace, you die, now you don't have loadout guns, now you're in a really bad spot, you can't regain, you're in the blender, and that's it. You just wiped your PR away. You chalked your PR. Well, if we can get good cash flow, get loadouts down, extra loadouts, then we're in a much better situation to always fight with loadout guns. Now, the other thing that I do want to say, and this isn't going to happen in this game actually until, you know, a little bit later on, but dying is okay. Understand that you can die and still break your PR. Is it a little bit tougher? Absolutely. But I dropped a 30 the other day that we're actually going to be breaking down as well, where I actually died 3 times. So you can still break your PR even if you die. You got to regain quick. You got to have good cash flow, be able to get loadout guns, and keep UAVs up. So the last thing that I'll talk about is farming kills. And you just got to keep teams alive. You know, a lot of times, if you are down to 1 person on a team, let that person live, let those people, let those enemies respawn back in, at which point you can really start to give yourself more opportunities for kills. That is absolutely crucial for people looking to drop 20 and 30 kills. You know, if you're looking to get 10 to 15, and that's kind of your current PR, you don't necessarily have to farm. You just got to play faster and be in the action. If you're looking to get 20 and 30, you're really going to have to start farming kills, leaving teams alive. Right here, notice, get the down. There's 1 alive on prison. There's actually 2, right? So I know that I'm okay in terms of not wiping that team. And right here, where I talk about keeping lobbies healthy, you know, we still have 6 teams up. It's not ideal. I'd love to have like 8 or 9, but we're really in a good position now to farm the rest of this game to keep UAVs up. And look at cash flow right here. I do have enough for UAV. Wolf unfortunately goes down. By the way, I did not realize when I talk about don't hyper focus on your PR, I didn't realize until right here that I was on PR pace. 15 kills in second circle with 6 other teams still alive. It was right now that it dawned on me that I was on PR pace, and that's kind of when we start to lock it in. This is when I start to really push the issue. Now, keep in mind, my previous PR was 31, so it's a little bit different at the pace that I have to play with and the execution that I have to do in order to break that. So we're going to go ahead and push up here. I'm going to get this thirst over this way to get information. I don't see really anybody else around. Now, I'm going to go ahead and peek right here. Try to get that guy, but I get shot, so I'm going to quickly snake a little bit, try to get out of here, use my stim for the health regen, and I'm actually going to get off top prison. I know there's a lot of people around, but notice right here in this moment, I don't really have a ton of information. I know there's people around, but I don't exactly know where they are or where I need to be positioning myself, and it's a little bit of a tougher spot. And notice how much the pace is slowed down now, right? The pace is much lower. Boom, UAV up again. Now we're going to go ahead and push. Now I know where people are again. One over this way. I'm going to go ahead and leave him. I'm going to go ahead and leave him. By the way, real quick, if you are looking to get better at Rebirth, if you want to stay up to date about current Rebirth metas, if you want to know all Rebirth changes as soon as they happen, take a few seconds, hit that subscribe button down below. I post videos every single day. I live stream on YouTube 4 days a week, so if you want to know when I'm posting, when I'm going live, make sure you turn on that notification bell as well. Now, right here, a little bit of anticipation around the corner. I get that down. I get that thirst. Now, I notice that there's one below, right? So I'm immediately going to go challenge this. This is where I talk about playing faster and pace of play. We're going to go ahead and challenge. This isn't clean at all. It's actually pretty ugly. I didn't realize that was the last one. Unfortunate team wipe. Now here is where you start to talk about farming kills. 4 other teams up. I'm going to hit 15 more kills. And I thought I kind of chalked my PR at this point, but I'm going to keep playing fast. I'm going to keep using information. The other thing that I want to talk about is right there. You know, look at how there's a red dot on the mini-map right there ahead of me. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge this. I'm in a good spot to challenge. I think that one of the biggest ways that you can really start to improve is using your minimap. A lot of you struggle with awareness because you're not using your minimap well. And I want you to start looking at the minimap as soon as you hear shots being fired. You know, footsteps aren't great right now. We all know it. Footstep audio is not the best. But at the end of the day, shot audio is. You can hear enemies shooting pretty clearly. So when you hear those enemies shooting, especially close to you, look at the minimap, see where they are, see if you can find out what level they're on, how close are they. Right here, I get this down. Watch this play right here. Get the down, get the thirst. Okay, so 2 up on prison, 1 down below by harbor. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge here. I hear one. I actually try to play this heady. Can't get through that window, and then I hear him flying to me, right? So immediate chow right here. Use a little bit of movement. Get the down, get the thirst. I still see 1 up on prison. Watch how quick I challenge this. Watch how fast the decision is made because I'm still in a really good spot here. I've only taken half a plate of damage, right? I have plenty of ammo, especially my AK. So I'm immediately going to challenge. We center the crosshairs. We win that 50-50. And I'm still have over a plate. I'm going to go ahead. And at this point, I will say playing with people is going to help you break your PR. I'll go ahead and link my Discord down in the description below for you. We always have people looking for teammates. And we always have people that are looking to play what I coach. You know, being aggressive, staying in those situations, keeping UAVs up, executing well. And the reason I say that is because my teammates are going to help me out here. They're going to slow down a little bit. They're not going to focus as much on killing people. They're really going to help me out by keeping UAVs up, and they're not going to be wiping people. They're going to be really hyper-focused on making sure that they do not wipe teams. Even if that means dying, they're not going to wipe teams. Now we're going to go in and push over this way. I see 4, kind of in a weird spot. I've got a weird angle. I get the down right there. I unfortunately can't get that down. If I got that down, I'm in a really good spot. But notice how stacked they are. So this is a little bit about execution. Could I have died here? I absolutely could have, but at the end of the day, we have loadout up, right? Notice that loadout's still over by Harbor. I'm going to play this side, get the down. And guys, I was feeling so good. I mean, my shots with the MP40 were clean. My movement felt really good. So part of breaking your PR is feeling good, is, you know, playing on a day and having a lobby on a day where you're just feeling good. We've all had those days where we feel like we're struggling. We're always in the blender. We're missing shots. We're not using movement well. You know, we all have those days. We're not anticipating well. Our reaction time feels a little bit off. We have those days. But if at the end of the day, if we can get to a point where we feel good on a day and we get a lobby that allows us to really capitalize, then we're in a good spot. Now, this is called pace. This is pace of play right here. This is execution. Now, this is execution because I have to. I need you to understand that when we're in a 30, when we're chasing 30s, this is the pace that you have to play at. These are the situations that you have to put yourself in order to get those, right? It's risky, but at the end of the day, it is a little bit of high risk, high reward, and I get rewarded by breaking my PR here. Now, one's going to go ahead and push that way, and I'm just going to keep finessing here. Now, at this point, I can try to challenge. And by the way, one thing that you guys may not notice is, so watch this. Get the down, I get the down, I get the thirst. Watch the mini-map. Two people, right? So one of them's down and the other one's back there. So this is where I talk about the lengths that I go to actually farm teams. I was going to actually thirst that guy, thirst the one that was down. But this is the lengths that I go to farm teams in situations, right? Now I'm able to get the down. I'm able to get the thirst. I'm going to just keep finessing this guy. Now, what ends up happening is, notice there's 2 left. Now, I'll be honest with you. I missed the fact that there were 2 left right there. 100% I missed the fact that there were 2 left. Or else I would have challenged this guy much quicker and much differently. But at the end of the day, I'm going to grab plates. I hear him chasing. I have no choice but to challenge. We're able to get that down and get that thirst. Now, look, I want to address one thing really quickly. You know, I understand that this isn't the best lobby. That kind of goes back to my first tip of you got to have a good lobby to do this in. But a lot of you don't capitalize on these lobbies when you're in them. And that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between these absolute demons and pro players and even myself a little bit, in the sense that we capitalize on these games. We don't necessarily just, you know, we don't choke these games very often because of the level that we're playing at. I love this play too, by the way. Challenge this guy, and I notice this right here. Notice this guy in the doorway. See him real quick, right? So as I push around, I'm trying to find the Snoop skin. I don't see him. I see this one pushing in. I hear Snoop shooting behind me. We get the down there. Now we challenge this, and look, right here, look, I have 25 at this point. Notice there's still 4 other teams. So in that whole entire time, since we were in bottom Nova, there's still 4 teams. We've been farming this lobby the whole entire time, and that gives us a lot of opportunities. Now, quick check on the minimap right here. You know, I see one on my level, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the corner. I come to my teammate, don't kill him. I'm going to get that down, get that thirst. And what I wanted to say there to kind of wrap up that thought is, you know, that moment right there is when I knew I was really, really feeling good, and that it was a good day. Pop UAV, we're gonna get information up. I dropped money on buy for my teammates so that I can keep pushing. They're gonna go ahead and keep UAVs, and we got 28 now, 4 other teams, and we're back in the action. Super bad mistake here, not reloading, because that should have been a free and easy kill. I'm gonna go ahead and push up. I'm gonna play this smart. I'm gonna grab those 2 guys and understand at this point that respawn is disabled. No more respawning. No, at this point it's done. So I can go ahead and start to wipe teams at this point. 2 on my level, hit shots there, challenge the second one immediately, pace of play, get the down, get the thirst. 1 right behind, my teammates are there to actually help out a little bit. That's where good supportive teammates, you know, they're in a position to save me. They only take that kill because they absolutely have to. I don't know how I escaped this one right here, but going back to, just to kind of wrap up my initial thought, going back a little bit, is a lot of you don't capitalize on these lobbies that you could be breaking your PR in, and it's a lot of different reasons, and we learn from those mistakes, and PRs are hard to get. That's why we get the feeling and that exhilarating feeling when we break that PR. That's ultimately why I produce as much content as I do, and I do produce the content that I do. I mean, that's just, like I said, I was moving different. I was hitting shots different. I was using movement different. I was feeling really good. I was feeling like I was making the right decisions, and I knew that I was absolutely locked in. We got 32. We got 2 other teams alive here. So I get 1 over that way. Wait for this ending right here. Wait for this ending. So I'm going to go ahead and keep pushing here. We're going to grab circle. 1 shoots at me from behind. I'm going to go ahead and challenge him. No. That's the game. We end up dying there. We end up losing. Team wipe. It is what it is. This is why I made the point about dying is okay. This game still counts as a PR. A lot of people ask me, Joe, does it still count as a PR if you don't win? Yeah, absolutely. This is your kill record. It is okay to not win your kill and still break your PR. Why winning is so nice is because I left, you know, 4 kills on the table there. That could have been 36. Instead, it's only 32. So I hope you found today's video helpful. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.